Okay, hey everybody. So unfortunately, there's not gonna be much face in this one, and I do apologize for the really crappy sound. But the room is a little sparse, as you can tell. But basically, what's going on is that, unfortunately, Professor Paradox recently moved out, and but I am turning his room into kind of my office. And I thought it would be a good place for kind of my Funko display. So I thought maybe a quick tour of my collection might be in order. So these shelves, this is an old TV stand that I've kind of converted into my own, or for my own purposes. Put the shelves in, attached some brackets. There's some L brackets to the TV actual clamps there, and hung them onto the thing. It works pretty well. Boards aren't even screwed in or nothing. But it's good. It's good and sturdy for what it's being used for. So, kind of just going through my collection today, going over all of the stuff that's going onto the shelves. We got the GameStop exclusive Sora riding the Heartless Wave, which I still never pulled off in Kingdom Hearts 3. But you know, I've been kind of really big recently in collecting Funkos, as it were. I've got a Darkwing Duck, because I'm a 90s kid and I grew up while watching Darkwing Duck and such. We got a Predator bobblehead. It's not really Funko, but, you know, I got it from a, what was that, Loot Crate, which was nice. I have all three of the Sanderson sisters, which is cool. Which I might move them up a shelf, since I've got a little bit of space. Ooh, wait, I gotta be careful because... Let's put the big one on there first, before I do that. Because that's kind of a thing. I also have... Hold on. It's, like, massive, and I have to use both hands for it. Ooh, forgive the mess. This big boy. This is a Target exclusive, the Green Goblin from Into the Spire Verse. Now, to give you guys kind of a size reference here, that's the Green Goblin versus a regular Funko. He's kind of massive. But anyway, let's put a Darkwing kind of back here a bit. Set you guys back. We'll put Sanderson sisters up here. There we go. Now, unfortunately, because of the size of my display, not everything really gets kind of viewed as much as I might like it to be. I just got this guy, Panther Lily from Fairy Tail. I'm a pretty big Fairy Tail fan myself, so having the chance to have the Panther Lily Funko Pop Focus You is kind of nice. My wife really likes it. Also a big Marvel fan, so we've got the Wolverine Target exclusive 80-year bronze edition, which is nice. I like I said, I'm a bit of a collector, so I like having, you know, the whole set of them, which we'll get into in a little bit here. I also have, because Rico is a bit of a geek, but we'll move all three here since they're three to a set, and we'll put them on the side here. Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander. We got all three of them as part of the thing here. We also have this A Day with Pikachu Funko guy here. He's a little bit of a newer addition. Now we've got a bit more of an empty shelf here. Let me show the... So these guys are Christmas Village pieces. I'm going to take them out of the box and actually, like, set them up around Christmas time. But they'll go out there. Along with Mayor Peppermint here. And hopefully I'll be able to complete the set before next Christmas. Let's see what else we got here. I've also got Dark Phoenix from the X-Men. That was another one of Rico's picks there. And of course, they all decide to jump off the thing I have them stored on. Shere Khan from Tailspin. Because again, 90s kid. Grew up with those kind of cartoons. Now, this one's not mine. But it is a nice one. Target exclusive Basilisk. Currently storing that for Professor Paradox. And then, oh, here's one that is. The Holiday Mickey from the 90-year celebration. Yes, I'm a Disney kid. Growing up in the 90s, it was hard not to be. We've got a Loot Crate exclusive Han Solo from, what is it? Force Awakens. When they're on the snow planet. Snow gear kind of stuff. Which is nice. One of the first ones in my collection. Kind of the thing that started me collecting these. Here's another one. The other one that is Professor Paradox's is Vegeta from Resurrection F. He got that one for Christmas from my parents, which was very, very nice of them. And then what else we got here? Oh, that's a whole set we'll deal with in a second. Hold on. So these are cool. Let me get a little more comfortable here, since we're dealing with some lower shelf items. Before we start dealing with the stuff that goes up top, these are cool. These were licensed by Funko. 5-star vinyls. These are cute little vinyl guys. Ta-da! Sora. Now there is, as you can see on the back here, there's a bit of a set here. Now, I was lucky, or I am lucky, enough to be on really good terms with my local GameStop. Because when these went on clearance, my local GameStop not only set aside all of these for me, they went through the trouble of reaching out to another GameStop to make sure that the ones they didn't have were delivered to my local shop for me. Get a good shot of each of these with the doors open, just to kind of show them off, because I think these things are super duper cool. If, you know, if a little creepy, because the Mickey is a little creepy. We'll show that in a second here, just how I mean creepy. I mean, no one can really get the good Sora face, but this doesn't do too poorly. And then, of course, there's that. The little framing is nice. And then, of course, there's Mickey. And, dear God, if that's not nightmare fuel, I don't know what is. Glad this is just becoming my office and not my bedroom. Of course, we got the little soldier guy here. The soldier Heartless. Looks like he's also got the little hit markers, which is cool. Goofy with his knight's shield, which is nice. The Monsters, Inc. Sora with the Monsters, Inc. Keyblade, which is nice. And, of course, Donald with his wizard's wand, also very nice. Nicely framed. It's a nice set, and I have the complete set. All of the pieces are here, which is really, really nice. When I did start doing Kingdom Hearts 3 stuff, I also got this. The Void Gear, the Shooting Star, and the Braveheart. They are just Funko keys. Just a little vinyl collectible keyblades. But they're super, super cool, if you ask me. I super, super love them. Now, of course, these are all things that I'd love to keep on display. But again, I have quite a collection that all have to be, or that all want to be displayed as much as humanly possible. For example, this guy, E3 2019 limited edition Sora in lion form from Kingdom Hearts 2. This guy I found at GameStop, and this is awesome. there's a bit of a collection when it comes to or there's a bit of a set when it comes to Kingdom Hearts 2 stuff, but, and I don't have a lot of it, but it's out there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up putting the 5-star vinyls up in front here, and do what I can to put stuff behind them. But for right now, we're going to stick our little Lion Sora right there, and I can stack stuff on top, of course. Stacking is never a bad thing. I also have the Riku from Kingdom Hearts 2 here, with his Path of Twilight Keyblade, which I always have been of the firm opinion that Sora was a whiny fucking character, and Riku was the better character to play as. I'd love to get my hands on an Organization 13 Mickey. It would be so cool. Let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, part of another Funko box thing that I got in the collector box was the Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku, which is nice. He's carrying the Braveheart, which is like the same scale as the other one I have, which is super cool. But yeah, he's another part of a nice set. And then we've got Vanitas from Kingdom Hearts 3. I wish I had him with the cracked mask. That'd be cool. But he's carrying, again, he is also carrying the Void Gear at the same scale as the other one that I have, which is super, super cool. But yeah, we got Vanitas there. Oof. Falling over. Okay. So yes, and that's about it for the Kingdom Hearts stuff I have, I think. As I said, there's a lot to my collection, and a lot of it wants to be on display. This is going to be harder than I thought. Okay, but for right now, what we're going to do, we're going to go like this, because those two could go right there. Let's actually flush that up a little bit with the edge of the stand. There we go. And then those guys will actually line the front with Mickey headlining that edge. Yeah. But we will do that after we'll get some of these other ones up here. So, I also have Mummy Boy from Nightmare Before Christmas. He's a nice little one here. We picked him up at our local Comic-Con, as it was, which is nice. Let's see. I also have The Witch, also from Nightmare Before Christmas. Picked her up at Comic-Con as well. And Rico did me the wonderful favor of picking up a Vampire Jack from, again, the same Comic-Con. Unfortunately, they didn't have the Dios de Muerta Jack, which I would have loved to get my hands on, because I think it's an absolutely beautiful piece, but I just didn't have the ability. Now, this one's a sin, and I apologize, but this is Arsene. He was on my desk at work, which is why he's out of the box. He'll probably actually go back on my desk and not, on the display shelf. But he is here, kind of exists. Let's see here. I also have a Chaozu and Tien. Look how tiny Chaozu is compared to Tien, who's normal sized. It's amazing! But, I'm a very big Dragon Ball fan, if you haven't guessed that by, like, any or all of my videos by now. This is what happens when I fall over. Okay, and we roll back up, and we're good. Okay. And then we have Johnny Rico, limited edition Funko from the 2019 Summer Collection. Johnny Rico from Stormship Troopers, Rico's Rough Riders. Yeah, there you go. Johnny Rico. Good movie. Blackout. Good movie. I really enjoyed it. I grew up kind of watching it. I think one of, I can't think of his name now. God damn it. I'm terrible with names. Dr. No, fucking How I Met Your Mother. Anyway, one of Neil Patrick Harris's better roles. Thank you, Brain, for finally remembering. Neil Patrick Harris played in Stormtroopers Troopers. He was the psychic at the very beginning of the movie, and at the very end. I think it was a very good role for him, and it was one of the first roles I saw him in. And now we've got Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose is, of course, from Rooster Teeth. We got her at, actually that one was from GameStop as well. Picked her up not too long ago. We're getting down to the nitty-gritties of things here. Oofta. Okay. Next up, we have the Undersea Gal. This is also from the Nightmare Before Christmas set. Picked her up at Comic-Con as well. We're going to kind of shift things over here. And then shift you over one, and then we'll put you next to the others. There we go. Yes, I'm a little OCD when it comes to my collection stuff, but who can blame me, right? Okay. So, next comes, I guess we'll go the tinies, because we can. So we got a couple of the little Pocket Pops keychain guys. Of course, the Hulk from the new Avengers Endgame. And then we also have, jumping off the tables, Thor with his Stormbringer bobblehead keychain. Picked him up at Comic-Con as well, along with the Hulk. Both of those guys from Endgame. Rico, because Tim Curry was at Comic-Con, they had a lot of Pennywise and such kind of Funkos. And because Rico is terrified of horror movies, she wouldn't let me buy any of them. But she did buy me this guy. Little pocket Funko Pop Pennywise with the beaver hat from It Chapter 2. Little itty bitty guy. I can settle for the hat for the tiny guy versus the big one. It's not like I got like one of them, you know. And then Black Manta, also a little keychain figure guy. Picked him up at Comic-Con as well. Obviously Black Manta from Aquaman. I like it. Okay, so now we start getting into a couple of the nitty-gritty types. Oh wait, nope. Got a couple more tinies, but we'll get into them. Now we get really into like the nitty-gritty. This is the collectible ones. Well, of course, not quite yet there. This is, of course, from Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story. Little bobblehead guy. I had him on my desk at work. He was one from the you pull them out of the box with the random character things. These are still licensed by Funko, and you can find them in the Funko app. He's still technically a collectible. He was also on my desk at work. I don't see him going back on my desk, but that's fine. Let's see. Another Disney one that I was really actually happy to get. GameStop exclusive Max. Goofy's son from the Goof Troop. Now, the Goof Troop was a Disney cartoon on the Disney Channel back in the 90s, which followed the everyday life of Goofy, Max, and their neighbor Pete. Pete was, of course, always that, ooh, look at me, I'm rich kind of guy, as far as neighbors go. But he wasn't a bad person. He just wasn't a good guy. That's not completely true. He was a good person. He wasn't necessarily a hero per se. Okay, so now we start really getting into the collectible ones. And this is where we're going to do this. Okay, we're going to go Donald, because you're totally freaking useless. And then Goofy, because you die almost as much as Donald does. And then Sora, because, well, I fucking hate you. And then Mickey. There we go. because you're still technically king, but I still hate you. Or you're still creepy. Okay, now give me 1 second because I have to use both hands for something. Whoop. Blackout. I'm sorry, guys. Ah! Focus. There we go. That's a little bit better. I'll center those more on my own time, but, okay, that gives me a majority of this bottom shelf here, which I think is where, yeah, that's where those will go. Okay, so, I need to be said, my wife, Rico, is amazing. So, here you see Pugsley Addams. Now, this is from the original Addams family. You know, the good one. I can't say that yet. I haven't seen the new one yet. But I will say, when my arms decide to work for me today, there we go, that I don't like the art style of the new ones. That being said, so this is Uncle Fester from the new ones. And I don't like the art style. Now, I know Funko changes things. I mean, look at Mickey, for crying out loud. But I've seen the commercials for the animation, and I'm not a big fan. Now, this is Uncle Fester from the original. And this was really good. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the remake. For example, this is Morticia from the remake. And I understand they kind of got to do it a certain way, and they're trying to make it look, you know, creepy and crap like the originals, but they just weren't. They're not as good, in my opinion, mind you. This is merely my opinion, so please do take it with a grain of salt. I mean, take Gomez, for example. I mean, look what you've done. Look what you have done. But I'm not going to say I dislike the new Addams Family, or I hate them, or anything like that. I will hold off on my decisions as far as that goes until I have seen the movie and have a better frame of reference. And then, of course, we have Pugsley, because Pugsley. And then Wednesday, again, just not a big fan of the nooses that are her pigtails. That's a clever touch. Totally clever, totally approve of that. That's a nice touch. What I just don't like the animation. I don't like the way that they did it. I don't. And again, this is just my personal opinion. And again, this is, you gotta take it with a grain of salt, but the new Addams Family animation doesn't look great. The story looks okay, and the actors, the voice actors seem to do the characters justice. I'm not saying that. And the story doesn't seem outlandishly terrible or anything like that. I'm a bit of a purist. What can I say? Okay. So, now we've got the other ones. I have them all here. Am I missing Morticia? Oh, there she is. Okay. So, and then, okay, so like I said, this is where we actually get into the collectible parts. I have the full set of Addams Family. I also have the full set of the original Addams Family, because when I told my wife Rico that I was not a fan of the new animation, she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. And I told her not to apologize, because she still thought about me and bought me Funkos. But she also decided that at that time she was going to take the time and buy me the whole original set at Comic-Con as well. And now, of course, hold on, there we go. Uncle Fester is number 13, which of course throws off my mirroring parallels here. But then we have Cousin It from the originals, and it's super, super cool. So yes, I have the full set of those as well. And I think they're amazing. Okay, so now we start looking up there. And now we start working with some of the ones that I think are super, super cool and that I am super, super happy about. But it also means we're almost done. 1 second. Blackout! It's like a transition, but not. It's like a transition, but with sound. Okay. Starting off, you start off with this one. This is Under the Moonlight, the 25th anniversary edition of Tim Burton's A Nightmare Before Christmas, Jack and Sally on the Curly Hill, signed to Ethan, to myself, and to Bailey, although he spelled my name wrong, by the voice of Jack Skellington. Which was amazing. I got to meet him at our local Comic-Con. He was amazing. And a super nice guy. And then, of course, we have Jack sitting with his picture of himself at his house, which might go somewhere in my Christmas village, just because I can. And I think it might be the same size. Anyway, then we've got a couple of tinies. We've got Jack. Focus. We've got Jack, and we've got Sally sitting on what? I can't tell. Looks like just on the ground, but look, she is sitting. Okay, so this next one is a bit of the pain in my ass. So you will have to forgive me. I hope they're all here. Yeah, okay. So let's grab those ones, that one, you to start. So, I got the Advent calendar this year for Harry Potter Funko Pops. And they're little Funko minis, don't get me wrong. But they're from, you go like way the fuck over here with your cat and your creepiness. And then Dumbledore and McGonagall's. But they're from that's an after the party one. That's an after the party one. Oh, I forgot about the Snape. Of course I forgot about Snape. Who wouldn't forget about Snape? Okay, but they're from the dance from book 4. Okay, so fucking Dragonov, always jumping. Mad Eye Moody and Dragonov have a bad habit of falling off of the display, and there's not a lot I can do about it. I'm sorry. So that's a Cedric Diggory, and he danced with Chow. This is the Russian guy, who I forget his name, and he danced with Hermione. And then I have a Fred and a George. Fred and George. Who I don't remember who they danced with. I think they're just on the sidelines. Okay. Hopefully not knocking anybody else over. Okay, and then we had a Neville and a Ginny. They went together. When Ginny wants to stand and Neville doesn't want to do backflips. Ta-da, Neville. And then Miss Fleur kind of danced on her own. Draco was also kind of wallflowering. The twins were wallflowering. I remember this. The giantess from Fleur's school and Hagrid were dancing together. There we go. And then, of course, there is Ron and Harry, who took the Pavarti twins, but unfortunately, and there goes Mad Eye, they also wallflowered because the Pavarti twins were kind of a last-minute get-together for them. And they didn't actually want to be there with the twins at all. As we know, Harry wanted to be there with Cho, and Ron wanted Hermione. But they're kind of doofuses and failed. And of course, the set could not be complete without the two of them after the party, Harry and Ron. See? Yeah. And of course, Dragonoff and Mad Eye, who are supposed to be right there, have jumped off and jumped and fucked off behind everything. I'll have to pull them out and get them out later, but yeah. So that is my Funko collection. As you can see, it's actually quite vast. And someday I'll have that all in my Funko app and have a accurate number of like how expensive it is or how much I've spent on it or whatever. A lot of it I actually haven't spent on. They've been gifts or from boxes or we did trade-in value to get it. But it's not too bad, in my opinion. But yeah, tell me what you think. Put it in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time.